The Play Absolutely podcast with Dr. Sue Jennings and Dr. Andy Hickson. Hey, I've come armed with notes, confidence, and absolutely no idea where this is going. So, we'll play it by ear. Play your cards right and you'll get something genuinely useful. Play them wrong and you'll get me playing around in public until this accidentally becomes a podcast. Either way, fair play. Let's play it out, Sue. How you doing?
Hello. Yes, I'm fine. Yes, good. We can play spontaneously today.
Yes, it's all about the play.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful, you'll get me playing with fire. All right. Okay, so, play. Some people say that we've played it to death, but I think there's a lot more mileage in where we're going. We're going to play for a lot longer. One of the things that we sort of touched on, but we haven't gone deep dive into it, is this play versus productivity that you often hear, right? Why is play treated as a reward or as a break from learning rather than, it being part of the process of learning? Why do you think that is?
Now, that is a really, really important question because the pressure on children to learn at school so that in time they will be productive and do real work rather than playing around is enormous. Yeah. All that pressure on exams and SATs and levels of work and competences and all these words they use. And as you say, then if they work well enough, then there is a reward of being allowed to play for a little while. Yeah. Whereas the truth is, a lot of play actually helps us to discover something about work. I mean, no scientist makes a discovery without being playful.
Exactly, yeah.
You've got to allow these ideas to turn upside down and inside out and look at them from another perspective and so on. That's how you genuinely discover something new. And the child already is showing an aptitude for play, as we know, from a very, very early age.
Well, do you think, again, a bit of devil's advocate in me, and I don't want to put down our education system because we've got some wonderful schools in this country, but do you think as part of the system, just sort of touching on that, the demarcation of work and play, once you start going to school, isn't that where that sort of demarcation starts? So like we got work and then you've got break time, it's called playtime, isn't it? Actually is called playtime.
But so you get some of that earlier though, don't you?
Yeah.
When children are playing around with their food.
Yeah.
And parents will say, now stop messing about, eat your dinner, sort of thing. Whereas a lot of children love to mix and, I know teenagers who play with their food, not just young children. And they'll turn mashed potato into a house and so on.
And, okay, so we're focusing this bit of discussion on early years. Let's take one of the typical sayings that people say, it's child's play. It's child's play. So
it means it's easy.
Well, it's child's play. It can be negative or it can be positive. You can say it's child play and yeah, it's easy. Come on, we can sort this out. No problem. Or you can say it's child's play, meaning it's so simple and you can't even do it. There must be something wrong with you.
Indeed. So yes, this whole idea of playfulness and seriousness. And somehow playfulness is not serious. Therefore, it can be discarded. Yeah, stop playing about and let's settle down.
So, how did we get there? In Temiar society, we don't see that separation or that weighting on whether play or is separate from real life. It's just life. How do we get to it where we are separating out play from learning and play as just a reward system for well, for all of us, but particularly from when we're children and growing up.
Well, don't you think that a lot happened during the Victorian era and the whole Victorian work ethic?
All right.
And if you were homeless or a vagrant, you went to the workhouse. You didn't go to the playhouse. That was something different.
Yeah.
But then if you think of Shakespeare's time, everybody could go to the playhouse. Even if you had got a halfpenny, you could stand and watch. It was the posh people would sit up in the boxes and so on.
Yeah.
But everybody went to watch a play. Then we went through that whole Reformation time, didn't we, when the Puritans banned a lot of things. And some of the noble families used to pretend they were having a tennis match at their house or their castle, but actually they were watching a play. There were all sorts of subterfuges going on.
So, they were pretending they were playing a tennis match, but they were watching a play. I don't understand that. Tell me more.
Well, the Puritans banned theatre completely.
Okay.
So it went underground.
Right.
Very much like when we had censorship here.
Okay.
In more modern times.
Right.
When theatre was heavily censored and it went underground, we had theatre clubs where you could put on whatever you wanted if it was a club and you were a member. But
so
you weren't allowed to show.
In
Sorry?
America, a bit like Prohibition in America, where they banned alcohol, they banned the Puritans banned theatre. Okay, that's a history lesson for me here.
Once the monarchy fell and we were governed, then what went with it was a very, very puritanical ruling in terms of religion and no entertainment and no fun, no play.
Right. Okay.
Then it all came back again with really in quite an extreme form. The Restoration was full of tight clothes and bosoms and bottoms, and you only got to look at their costume. But then, you see, it went in the other direction with the Victorians, when even the piano legs were covered up because they might tempt people to think about legs.
Can I just get back to something you said, back to Shakespeare, one of your favourite subjects, apart from play. So let's bring the two together. How did we get from playing as an activity of learning and fun together, and then we go to watch a play? So one is kind of passive and the other is kind of active.
Well, certainly in the UK, it all started even earlier. In the very first play was 4 lines long. I was inserted into the Easter Mass in church.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you remember it? Testing your memory.
No, because it's in Latin, and although I did O-level Latin, I don't remember this actual quotation. But basically, they made a tiny little drama about when the Marys went to look for Jesus' body at the tomb.
Okay.
And they asked where he was, and there was seek and ye shall find him response. But to say it was just 4 lines long, but it was like a little tiny play in the Mass. And then it grew from there. Okay. And the point was it grew too much, and certain risque elements were introduced. So the church threw the players out so there were then players on the road, literally performing in pubs. But it was a church beginning that got censored. And so then you had your travelling players.
Are we talking UK here or Europe? Because, of course, we've had theatre for a long time.
We're talking very much here in the UK.
Okay.
When that drama within church first started. But then as people travelled and got influence by the Commedia dell'arte in Italy, some people travelled to Greece and got influenced by Greek theatre. Mm-hmm. So it grew in all sorts of ways, but it was just that tiny beginning.
So is the play in the as a show, as a piece of theatre, is that a play on words in that we're playing with life? We're showing some sort of life on the stage. Is that how it got its name?
Interesting that Shakespeare so often does plays within plays. And Hamlet says about the play is the thing in which will catch the conscience of the king, meaning watching the play, he waits for the king to respond to a certain theme to know that he's guilty of murder. It's quite interesting.
It is. Yeah, it's interesting to play with these ideas.
Oh.
So, I mean, there are lots of sayings around play that, as I mentioned in the beginning of this pod, can be used as a negative and also as a positive, depending on, I mean, you don't even need to change the words, but just maybe the tone of voice or the situation, for example. You're playing with fire, for example, can both be negative and it can be positive. Have you got any favourites?
Well, I always stop short in my brain when I hear that echo from, it may be in court, it may be in the home, it may be in the school, when somebody says, now stop playing about.
Yes.
Meaning stop messing. And it's such an indictment of where we've got to using the word play, when actually, if we listened or watched whatever this playing about was, we might actually understand everything.
Not enough people are playing it by ear.
And of course, that's a really good one in relation, both as a metaphor as well as in relation to music. I mean, a lot of people learn to play a musical instrument by ear they can't actually read music, but they become very accomplished by ear. In one of the special nurseries I worked in, one of the children was congenitally blind.
Okay.
And the music therapist that I worked with discovered through her work with him that he'd got a musical intelligence much higher than his ordinary IQ. Quite extraordinary, and that would only have been discovered because a music specialist worked with him. We wouldn't, the rest of the staff wouldn't have known that. But it was so successful that by his teens, he was actually playing the piano in his local pub for the sing-alongs. And that was when he was only 14. So it was such an affirmation for him that his music was rewarded. And it was a huge affirmation for his parents, because they were so worried about him being non-sighted, and was there more they could do, and could they have done something different, seeing a doctor, and lots of things they were distressed about. But the fact that he was acclaimed, and not just playing like a child, he was playing like a grown-up at 14. So it was lovely.
Okay, well, that's interesting in itself. What's the difference then in playing as a child and playing as a teenager? I mean, you said playing as a 14-year-old. What's the difference?
Well, unless you're an absolute genius, and there are very few of those around, there are some, you don't understand all the intricacies of music and playing instruments at a very young age.
Okay.
I mean, a 5-year-old really can't manage all the musical directions in a complex piece.
Yeah.
Very few can, but they're the geniuses, aren't they?
Well, there's arguments against whether genius is actually a thing, isn't it? I've heard quoted many times is that 10,000 hours on anything makes you an expert. Whether people are born geniuses or not, I'm not sure that that's true. I think it has a lot to do
Interesting, the plural is geniuses. You can't say genii because that means something else.
So something that I've been thinking about, and I mean, this might be, I mean, there's not many people that would be able to think this about you, being your son. So I grew up when I was able to understand what you did as a job or as work, it was all about drama therapy. So that's creative drama therapy was what you did as my mum. And then over time, it appeared to me to evolve into what you now call neuro dramatic play. So when did, for you, the focus or the interest from drama therapy sort of steer you into play and neurodramatic play? How could you just tell us a little bit, for me, because I don't know, how that evolution or how that sort of transfer happened to you? What
I remember that transition very, very clearly.
Transition, that's the word.
Yes, because I mean, initially, when we got back from my field work, living with and working with the Temiars and so on, writing all that up and writing up my thesis, which took quite some time. Drama therapy was beginning to be established at that time, and a lot of people adopted my paradigm of embodiment projection role, otherwise known as EPR. And it was really when I was able to look back at the Temiar and the work we did with them and how they were with us, that I realized that there was a whole missing area in EPR to do with sensory play.
Okay.
And just somehow that had got left out. And no one had drawn my attention to it. It was me getting a wake-up call myself that I needed to go back to EPR and really look at what was going on. And because of the work we did with the Temiars, especially during pregnancy, EPR starts at birth. But I went back further and started during pregnancy to say, what else is there to do with EPR? So neurodramatic play basically is the E in EPR.
Okay.
But because it starts during pregnancy and not at birth, I decided to create an early paradigm to include the rhythm, the messy play, the sensory play, and all of that. So yes, I should sort of 15 years ago now, I suppose. It became identified in its own right. Okay.
And why did you call it neurodramatic play? How did you come to that?
Well, the neuro came with all we're beginning to understand now about how the brain works.
Okay.
Dramatic, I was being very provocative here, because everyone kept trying to leave the word drama out and kept saying to me, people don't take you seriously if you talk about drama. Yeah. And when I used to talk about the dramatic imagination, they said, Suf, call it something else. People won't. Psychologists won't take you seriously if you use the word dramatic. And I was quite perverse and said, that's the very reason I'm going to use it.
Well, they're already saying that about play, aren't they? So
it not being taken seriously, but dramatic means that it's interactive, and that's the most important thing. But overall, as I always say, everything starts with the body.
Yes.
Whether we're talking about NDP or EPR. But NDP and EPR overlap nicely during the first 6 months after birth. So They fit together a bit like a jigsaw puzzle.
Okay. And where does NDP fit into drama therapy or play therapy, or would you say that drama therapy and or play therapy fit into NDP? Where's the mix, if there is one?
NDP and EP are the starting points.
Okay.
I mean, NDP is relevant to all the arts, not just drama therapy.
Right. When you say all the arts, do you mean the therapeutic arts or all the arts in general?
Oh, the arts in general, I think we can see traces of that, but certainly all the arts, including play therapy. I regard play therapy as one of the arts therapies. Not everybody does.
Okay. What do they regard it as if it's not?
When play therapy in the UK, which started with formal training programs, which started at the Institute of Drama Therapy, chose to split itself into a different discipline at that time.
All right, stop you there. How can a concept make a choice, or was it sort of...
No, the people pioneering play therapy chose to separate it from drama therapy.
Oh, I see, right.
At the time.
Okay.
And so you got the emergence of training and practice in play therapy, which didn't consider itself an art therapy, although these days a lot of people do regard it as being a part of that whole creative field. And in my book, the very early manifestation of play belongs to all the arts and all the arts therapies.
So you mentioned Institute of Drama Therapy. I remember that was your thing, wasn't it? The Institute of Drama Therapy.
Sorry, could you say that again, please?
Yeah, can you hear me all right now?
That's a little better, yes.
Okay, so you mentioned the Institute of Drama Therapy.
Yes.
That's way back, but that was your thing, is that right? You created that institute.
Yes.
And that was the early days of drama therapy in the UK?
And that changed when I handed the courses over to the Roehampton Institute.
When you say you handed them, did you give them to the Roehampton? Did they buy them off you? How did that work?
There was a professional fee involved, but it was, how should we say?
Be kind.
a token payment.
Okay.
For taking on. But then they dropped the Institute of Drama Therapy as a title after a while.
Right.
And now drama therapy doesn't exist at Roehampton.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay.
So it had a strange history there.
Another thing that I've heard a lot, not from you, from other people, is that you're often called the grandmother of drama therapy. So how did that title come about?
I prefer to be thought about as the grandmother of performative drama therapy.
Okay.
Because my model doesn't fit everybody.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good. Sorry to interrupt you. So you have a model of drama therapy that is outside the. Let's take. Is it BADTH, isn't it? The registered body for drama therapy. Is that right?
It's a British Association of Drama Therapists.
Yes. So their model of drama therapy, is that different?
They hold all the models, including mine.
All the models. Oh, including yours.
Of which there are several.
Okay. Now I don't want to get you into trouble, but when you say they hold all the models, does that mean they can say whether or not somebody's doing something, or whether you can
they endorse the training courses. that exists to train you to qualify as a drama therapist.
Oh, I see.
Because you don't just have to be approved by the British Association. You also have to be approved by the government register of therapists. All the arts therapists do.
Okay.
And there's a legal issue here that you're not allowed to call yourself a drama therapist unless you are a holder of the qualification and are registered with the government body.
Okay, so you being, I'll be kind to all the people out there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you being one of the, let's say, one of the founders of drama therapy, can we say that?
Yes, that is true. I am one of the founders.
One of the founders, okay.
Yes.
Now, I don't know whether you've taken your own course or other people's courses in drama therapy, but being one of the founders of it, and designing courses around it, have you actually taken a course, an official course in it?
I've done lots of different courses, right across the board.
But registered by the BADTH. I mean, can you?
Yeah, because we have to anyway. It's part of our registration.
So you
we have to do so many hours of CPD.
A drama therapist. Yeah.
It would certainly be a little odd if I was an innovator but couldn't call myself what I do.
No, I know, but I was just trying to work out the sort of the legal aspect of things. You know, when you say it's a protected domain.
I very rarely talk about doing drama therapy because I see NDP as the springboard into drama therapy.
Yeah. Okay. So just for me and for maybe some of the viewers that are interested, the linear progression in your eyes would
kept going backwards.
would be Neuro Dramatic play, EPR, and then they can branch off into drama therapy, play therapy, psychodrama, and so on. Is that right? Or other arts therapies? Is that a progression?
Yes. I mean, many people who practice and train drama therapists use EPR as a model.
Okay. Now, I'm pretty certain, and again, you correct me if I'm wrong, that any of these, drama therapy, play therapy, the arts therapies, neurodramatic play, EPR, currently, to your knowledge, none of them are taught at school as a GCSE or an A-level. You have to go to university or college and go in as an undergrad, is that right?
No, as a postgrad.
Oh, not even as an undergrad?
Nope. And there was quite an interesting development of how Derby University came to have a postgrad course, because one individual there started off an undergraduate training in drama therapy, and the association refused to acknowledge it and said that it had to be postgraduate or they wouldn't support it.
Right.
And
is that political, or?
There's a whole area of debate around this.
Okay.
When drama therapy first got registered, quite a lot of people got left out in the cold. People who were doing drama on the ward of long stay chronic psychiatric institutions, you know, they were doing super work, very creative. They weren't academic people, they were practical people that did drama. And there wasn't somehow a mechanism to take them along with us and give them some status of their own. And I've always felt that was extremely sad, that we lost a workforce there.
Right.
Because first it became a postgraduate diploma, and now it's become a master's.
Right. Okay.
So in the UK, you have to have an MA in drama therapy now to practice.
Wow.
Now, it's interesting that the Greek courses that I helped to set up all those years ago refused to go along with this. And they continue to give diplomas in drama therapy after their own training.
So if you've got a Greek diploma in drama therapy, can you practice as a drama therapist in the UK?
I'm not quite sure how that works.
Okay.
Some people, I think, come to UK and then
Take the postcard.
do a qualifying thesis or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have a master's when they're here.
Do you think that
individual people?
Do you think there's an argument to be had for, let's start at the beginning, where you say the beginning in your mind is now with Neuro Dramatic play, with NDP. Do you think there's an argument that could be taught as an A level at school? Do you think that would be useful?
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
I think it would help life a lot for many people if it was taught as an A level.
Okay. And I mean, we can tell the viewers we have gone a little bit in that direction, but yeah, it seems the forces of too much play for the children. I don't want to again make this political, but there are barriers. I mean, we've come across barriers, haven't we, when we've tried to introduce this to a younger generation, I suppose. The concepts, the ideas of not only neurodramatic play but social theatre, which arguably neurodramatic play is a part of social theatre, and something we've discussed in many times before. It's not just child's play.
Yes,
and I think if you try to do anything different, then these organisations might say that you're playing with fire. You could get into trouble. I mean, I'd say, well, I'm just playing. And then, well, don't play with our feelings.
And then they'll call a meeting and say, look, can you keep some minutes? We're not messing around here. We're not playing.
Not playing around.
It's for real. We've got to keep these minutes, and then they're a formal record of what we've actually said.
Well, I told you I was just going to play it by ear.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Various comedians who've insisted on being playful in meetings. And I don't know, do you remember John Cleese made a whole series of how not to hold a business meeting?
He had a really good video, or docu-video. I think it was called Meetings, Bloody Meetings.
That's right. But it was such an effective way of learning.
Yeah.
With so many business meetings, you're sitting on your hands being deadly bored the whole way through and nodding and are given a PowerPoint at the end of it, sort of thing. Whereas I felt they did something remarkable. I'd love it to be shown again sometime.
You can watch it on YouTube. It is there, if you're interested.
I mean, yes. we've mentioned the post office scandal before, but I mean, just as that, when it was shown, made such an impact, not just on the government, but on the general public who had no idea of the extremes. I think if they showed the meetings, bloody meetings, again on national television,
national TV, right?
Yes, I think it would make an impact. It would remind people that sometimes we take ourselves far too seriously, and we don't give anybody, child, teenager or adult, enough time to play.
I'll drop a link in the description to the YouTube version, or one of the YouTube versions of that, if people are interested. But yes, I mean, talking about meetings, I some of the meetings where I've been really playful have been some of the most productive. I remember one particularly with an old colleague of mine, and we were going for some grant funding with a local council in London, and it was a competitive tender. We had to give a presentation to a lot of community leaders, including the head of the council, a community police officer, and a variety of others. And it was in the town hall building, a very formal place. And in the waiting room, there was all these different sort of theatre groups and so on. That was about delivering some theatre-based educational performances to schools in the local borough. And so my business partner and I, we were literally improvised on the spot. We'd got something prepared, but we didn't realise there was going to be all this competition. So we thought, well, we've got to be memorable, we've got to be a bit different. So when it was our turn, we completely forgot our script, we deliberately forgot our script. We didn't lose our memories. And we went in there and we decided we're just going to improvise the whole thing. We had a drum, a djembe drum. So my partner, he started playing the drum and I started just rapping our bid to these formal people all suited and booted. And, we thought, we're just going to have fun. And we literally played at that meeting. He played the drum. I just rapped the bit out, what we were going to do in the schools. And at the end of it, we thought no more of it. We just thought, well, we had a bit of fun here. At least we'll be memorable, even when we don't get the bid. 2 weeks later, we were the group that was chosen. And we got that funding. So sometimes playing around, playing it by ear, improvising a bit, can get you the job, which it did there. But
yes, I had a different variation on that with a course I was running in Portugal, and I said to the organisers that from the beginning I wanted it to become some sort of performance, being playful and so on. So one of my colleagues had got like a pile of newspapers that, so read all about it. Drama therapy has come, and went round distributing them. It had the reverse effect, and people began to back away. So we had to work even extra hard to get them within the working group, which in the end we did. But the managers of the whole thing, because it was a 3-day course, and on the 3rd day they came in the morning and asked to see me, and handed me an envelope, and they've said, this is your fee that concludes your 3 days. Thank you very much, but we won't be asking you again.
Oh, ouch.
That was very difficult to deal with, especially as I'd still to do the 3rd day.
Oh, gosh.
As you can imagine. But all the group, actually, by the time we finished, had thoroughly enjoyed it and realised how much they learnt from the spontaneity and not sitting in rows and listening to me talk at them, which is what initially they'd expected, you see.
So do you think from the management that was just a bit of a power play?
I think it was definitely power play, because I'd actually all in one go introduced a different model of learning.
Right, yeah. Yes, well, I think that's been a very interesting pod. I would suggest we're coming towards the end now, so let's wrap this up. Any last playful words to our audience?
Well, I think everyone's got to think, how can they be more playful in the new year?
Yes.
Playful
Go on.
A playful resolution.
A playful resolution. Well, let's think about that for our next pod. So our next pod, I think, will be in the new year. So during the time, let's think about some New Year playful resolutions. Let's both come with one. I'll come with a playful New Year resolution. You can too. Been lovely to see you again today.
Okay.
And I'll end with your line. Don't forget to play.
And I'll just say, keep playing.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sue, and thanks, everybody. Oh, and please, it really helps us if you support us. It helps the algorithm. So give us a like if you've enjoyed the episode, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That would be really helpful. And we look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. Thank you very much.